evening, our beloved viewers. You are watching on Live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the major stories. A receipt of a new batch of medicine to improve the healthcare coverage. And on the international scenes, the International Court of Justice orders Israel to immediately heal its offensive in Rafah. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. A second shipment of medicines and medical preparation arrived only about 10 days after the first batch arrived. The Medicine Preservation and Storage Center received an important shipment of medicines and pharmaceutical products as part of efforts aimed at providing comprehensive and effective health care to patients. To have a closer look at this second quantity of medicine, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdillah, went to the medicine warehouses located in the PK12 neighborhood, accompanied by his senior aides. The minister was received by the Director General of the Center for Preservation and Storage of Medicines, Dr. Hassan Abdurrahman, and the workers of this institution authorized to store the medicines in a way that guarantee their safety and effectiveness. The Medicines Conservation Center is considered as an essential part of medical supply structure in hospital and health center, as it is ensure the availability of medicines necessary for treatment and effective health care for patients. The visit of the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdillah, to this facility, comes as part of his effort aimed at verifying the availability of medicines and medical equipment according to the ministry. This expansion is in the acquisition of medicines and medical products will enhance the quality of healthcare product and the healthcare provided in all hospitals and the dispensaries, especially with regard to the measures taken to treat a case of malaria and fever that the country has witnessed in these recent months. The Director General for the Medicines and Medical Pharmaceutical Purchasing Center indicate in his speech that this achievement will contribute to building a significant strategic stock of medicines and medical materials to ensure the continuity of supplies and avoid any unwanted interruptions. A ceremony dedicated to honoring the winners of the first edition of the Djibouti Mathematics Olympiad yesterday, Thursday, May 23 at Djibouti High Schools. This major event, which brought together the country's best middle and high school students, highlighted the exceptional talent of Djiboutian youth in mathematics. The aim of this ceremony, which is to give students the opportunity to researchers train them on problems at the international Olympic level and to prepare them in order to participate in national and regional but also international competition. The award ceremony began at Djibouti High Schools in the presence of the winners' parents, school principals, supervisor, and association member. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed, received the students in his office in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Mohammed Abdullah Mahyoub, Inspector General of the member of the MEND Association, and the students. In his speech, the Minister of Education, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed stressed the importance of this national competition, stressing his hope that the winners will be able to participate in a continental and international competition in the future. He also assured the students of his continued support. He expressed his pride in his students and encouraged them to continue their effort and strive to achieve excellencies. This ceremony represent, he said, an important step in recording and recognizing Djiboutian sport for the confirm of commitment and educational authorities to promote these talented students, he said. The Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, Mr. Hassan Mohamed Ibrahim, and his accompanying delegation continued their work visit in Brazil and he held a key meeting aimed at strengthening relation and establishing strategies partnership. After a series of fruitful discussions with the European Union authorities, the minister met yesterday morning with the governor of Namur province. This meeting contributed to laying the foundation for a solid partnership with the Walloon region and address crucial topics such as capacity building and railway development, among others. At the bilateral level, the minister also held a meeting with the Belgian authorities at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where they discussed various cooperation opportunities, especially in the field of infrastructure. It was yesterday the Institute of the Moderations and Culture of Peace celebrated the end of 2023-2024 academic year. During this occasion, participants were honored in the course on public speaking skills and the art of elocution, and the course of mastery of recitation of the Holy Quran, which are designed for imam of mosques and also preachers. The closing ceremony took place under the generous presence of the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Endowment, Mr. Moumen Hassan Boré, and the Director General for the Institute, in addition to the Executive of Islamic Supreme Council, the Director General for Zakat Office, and Acting Director of General Endowment Department, in addition to members of the Institute's teaching staff, including professor delegate from the Al-Azhar Imam, and also preachers who benefited from these two courses. The courses on public speaking skills and the art of delivery contributed to the preparing imams and preachers to be more effective in conveying the religious and social message and communicating in effective manners. As for the masteries courses for reciting the Holy Quran, it primarily aimed to teach imams and preachers to the rules of Tawjeed and applied them correctly in reciting the Holy Quran, including the origin of the letters and their attributes. On the other hand, groups of high schools guarantee participating in the educational qualification program to obtain an intermediate diploma, which is the Institute held in close collaboration with the Al-Azhar University. It should be noted that the Institute of Moderation and Culture Peace had previously organized training courses on computer that lasted 3 months. It also worth nothing that the inauguration of the Institute of Moderation and Culture of Peace, affiliated with the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowment, on March 20, 2023 by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, as part of the effort made by the state to promote the values of tolerance and moderation. The Director General of the Institute of Moderation and Culture of Peace gave a brief speech on the ceremony, which he began by offering thanks and gratitude to the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Endowment for sponsoring this occasion, and congratulating at the same time the imams, preachers, and scholars on the successful completion of these training courses. For his part, the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Endowment, Mr. Mumin Hassan Borek, considered in his speech the training and qualification courses for imams and preachers to be an effective means of building a culture of moderation and tolerance and providing them with the understanding and skills necessary to enable them in order to guide society in a correct and moderate manner, conclude the minister. Chaired by the Minister of Housing and Construction, a workshop was conducted on modernizing and developing the city and transforming it into a modern city. This workshop is an innovative turning point in urban development in Djibouti under the slogans "Let's transform our city." Innovations and resilience for sustainable urban development. This workshop is a major event to discuss issues related to the urban challenges of major cities. The intense participation of all members of the government reflected their strong political desire, which focus on achieving the vision of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili. The vision is objective or expanded around their three main objectives: joint development of urban project for a modern, inclusive, and competitive city, encouraging participant dialogue for the urban planning, and finally for formulating a common vision for a resilient and sustainable city in the face of climate change. This workshop is an innovative turning point in urban development in Djibouti under the slogans for the sustainable urban development. In her speech, the Minister, Ms. Amina Abdi Aden, praised the effort of the entire organization team for the tremendous work that was carried out during these 4 days, and said that this event aimed to become a forum for innovative ideas, proposals, and concrete solution now directed toward coherent and unified urban planning models with the attendance of more than 500 participants. The Djiboutian City Workshop is organized around more than 10 interactive working sessions during which the preparatory methods will be determined in the forum panels discussion, roundtables, and case studies from foreign countries that now how to explore a timely solution to the urban challenges, conclude the minister. During the meeting of the United Nations Security Council devoted to the issues of protection of civilians in army conflict, the Djiboutian ambassador to the United States and permanent representative of Djibouti to the United States, Mr. Mohammed Ziad, delivered a speech in which he reaffirmed his commitment. For more details, let us listen to him.
Mozambique for convening this annual open debate of the Security Council on a matter of vital importance, and thanks the Secretary General for the annual report of the protection of civilians in armed conflict. The report gives an opportunity to assess the state of protection of civilians in the world, and the findings continue to underscore two major facts. There are far too many conflicts in the world, some protracted with a duration of more than 30 years, and the shocking toll of armed conflicts of civilians in many conflict zones in the world. Over the course of 25 years since the adoption of Security Council Resolution 1265 in 1999, we have collectively invested in enhancing the protection agenda, strengthening its architecture, establishing monitoring and accountability mechanisms, and through substantive policy discussions, we continuously developed a shared understanding of what protection mandates entail for UN peace operations. We welcome the fact that the protection of civilians agenda is prioritized in Resolution 2719 in the planning as well as the concept of operations and rules of engagement of African Union-led peace support operations. Djibouti, as one of the highest per capita contributors of uniformed personnel to UN peacekeeping support mandates, anchored on protecting international humanitarian law when mitigating armed conflicts. African peacekeepers are increasingly faced with situations where they have to confront radicalized violent groups and non-state actors with hostile intentions and who deliberately target non-combatants. In light of the changing nature of conflicts, in particular on the continent of Africa, we underscore the importance of ensuring adequate resources, including force multipliers and enablers, as well as modern mechanical and technological instruments. Notwithstanding this progress, Djibouti is deeply disturbed by the continued erosion of compliance with international humanitarian law and international human rights law. In too many places, civilians in conflicts are vulnerable to the consequences of war. Instead of endeavoring to limit the barbarity of war, we note deliberate targeting and killing of civilians, destruction of civilian infrastructure, including hospitals and schools. The integrity of UN facilities and premises must be protected at all times under international humanitarian law. Civilians must be protected in Sudan, Ukraine, and most terribly, Gaza, to mention just a few. Israel, which seems to have decreed Palestinians unfit to live, is committing wide-scale genocide in Gaza and continues to unashamedly rationalize the killing of civilians and the use of starvation as a method of warfare. The assault on Rafah will further compound a catastrophic humanitarian situation. Mr. President, these extremely negative developments threaten 25 years of progress. As we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Geneva Convention of 1949, let us recommit with renewed urgency to the implementation of international law and United Nations Security Council resolutions for the protection of civilians in armed conflicts and promote accountability. Djibouti, as a signatory of the political declaration on suspension of veto powers in cases of mass atrocities, calls on all states to consider lending their most valuable support to the crucial initiative launched by France and Mexico. Thank you for your attention.
Yesterday evening, the activities of a signing program to find the golden voice among the participant young men and women known as Jeep Talent continues in the corridors of the digital studio at the National Radio and Television Corporation on the second evening of quarterfinals of this competition yesterday evening. The second quarterfinal of this competition was organized, which aimed to discover young talent who can pump new blood into the arteries of the Djiboutian song. This evening, 9 young men and women competed in Somali and Afro language. Four of them were chosen, and 2 for each category, but 2 contestants were equal in that point. They obtained, and the number of became 5 winners, 3 girls in the Somali language and 2 young men in Afro language. Miss Deqa and Habsan and Degen won in the Somali language, while Saeed Ali and the young man Ahmed Mohammed won from the side of Afro language. In this contest, ideas of a program aims to serve and promote Djiboutian arts. Moreover, the program carries local favor and youthful spirit that attract audience, whether in form or in content. The national television camera recorded the participants' impression. The National Radio and Television Corporation has made a significant effort to make the youth program a success, which seeks to discover young talent in singing, The program will also provide an opportunity for unknown talent and encourage them to pursue their passion, advance, and contribute to the cultural movement of our nation. In response to an invitation from the authors Abdul Maki and Ms. Razia Ali Ibrahim, authors of a collection of Afro talent tales entitled Once Upon a Time, My Life, went to the city of Tejura for 48 hours visit to the present her works into the Afro language. This literary event represents a unique opportunity for readers to meet an important figures in Afro literature and benefit from the wonderful worlds of her histories, accompanied by the writer Abdul Maki and the educational advisor Mr. Jelani Awata, a high school's principal and a school four principals, Hussein Muhammad and Ms. Razia, visit two educational institutions in the Jura region. Uh, During this visit, the writers had enriching exchange with the students and their teachers, sharing with them her mission and passion for literature and the importance of stories in society. It should be noted that Ms. Razia met very intelligent students in the Jura region. The faculty and administration of Oboh Second School organized a ceremony to honor the school's top students for the year 2023-2024. The local authorities participated in this occasion and responded positively to the invitation. After being welcomed by the local authorities, the students presented various activities and poems in three teaching language, which are French, English, and Arabic. Various speeches were then delivered by the prefect of the region, Mr. Musa Adam Migani, the acting head of regional council, Mr. Ahmed Ali Sheikh. Moving on to the regional level in Somalia, Shabelle River, which flows through certain areas of Somalia, again caused heavy flooding this year in the town of Beledweyne in the Hiran district, located in central Somalia. Most of the residents of Beledweyne area were displaced from the city, especially in Hiran district. That were affected by the flood. The displaced families settles in the rural areas of Highland, far from Chebele River on the outskirts of the city. Although this year it's considered the least affected by the spring flood of Shebele River, there are still fears that the flood will worsen and affect more areas as spring rains continue to fall in the country. For the among the people displaced from their homes by Beledweyne in the Shabelle River this year, but they believe that water flows is lower than the spring. For the international scene, the International Court of Justice announced that it will rule on Friday on the request submitted by the South African on May 10, 2024, regarding the reference to additional provisional measures against Israeli in the genocide case. The International Court of Justice began 2 days of a hearing last Thursday to decide whether to take additional provisional measures against Israel. The United Nations Supreme Court ended up requiring Israel to provide it with information about the prevailing humanitarian situation in design evacuation areas in the Gaza Strip. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening.